Yo, I'm bugging out. I've just looked at the calendar and I can't believe it's like already mid-November. It is so crazy. We got Thanksgiving coming up just around the corner. It's insane, but I hope you guys are having a good day and rocking it up today. Let's go. It's Wednesday, and I saw Dane Brugler just drop top 50. I want to go through this. I'm really curious to see who he's got on his top 50 big board. Of course, Dane Brugler, one of the best in the business out there, always putting out some banging stuff. So let's see what he's got. It's truth time. I love it. Let's go. He's got truth out here. I don't know if he's up in with Donald Trump over here. He's got his Truth Social time moments, but nah, here we go. No politics in this thing. We got Arvell Reese at number one. I think it's a foregone conclusion. I think this is something we're going to see unanimously here very, very soon. Is Arvell Reese is the best player in this draft. Pound for pound, what he does is incredible. The junior, 240 pounds, 6'4". I think he's got really good length. I think he's going to have at least around the 33-inch mark, maybe under 30. I don't know. I think he's got like 33-inch plus arms. The dude looks long. He's strong and super athletic, and he can rush the passer. I think he'd be a full-time edge rusher for a majority of football teams out there in the Micah Parsons mold. Like, we talk about this every single season. Who's going to be the next Micah Parsons? Arvell Reese might actually be the next Micah Parsons with his power. I don't think he's got the type of athleticism Parsons has, but I think he's got better strength coming out than Parsons does. I mean, I think that's very fair to say. So Reese, I think more than likely is going to be the top player in the draft when it's all said and done. Simpson, this is where it gets interesting on the quarterbacks and who ends up being the top quarterback in the draft. A lot of people have Simpson at the moment. A lot of people still have Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza seems to be the clear Heisman favorite at this. Well, I mean, Sayan's really good too. Granted, Sayan's got two early wide receivers to throw to as well. But even though I guess Mendoza still has two great wide receivers to throw to in Waffle House and Omar. And, of course, Becker's even stepping up this past week. Going back to the conversation here, he says, believe it or not, Simpson has already graduated and secured a degree from Alabama before even throwing his first career touchdown pass. Really? I didn't know that. That's pretty wild. But he is a really smart quarterback that clearly understands the game. He's taken in that knowledge, and it's paid dividends for him this season. And even though the 1 year starting thing is a little concerning, I'm not going to lie, it is a little concerning. Each and every year, you always have these 1 year starting quarterbacks that you may sometimes bite your fingers. Is he going to be the guy? Because that limited sample size is like, if he comes back next year, would teams be able to figure him out? You don't really see that. Whereas guys like Julian saying going into next year, you're going to have a couple of years of film on him. So does he improve or does he take a step back? And we just don't know that with a guy like Ty Simpson or Dante Moore just yet if they declare. Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State, self-explanatory. I think he is a top 10 lock, especially in this draft class. Maybe in other drafts, you would say safety gets pushed down the board, but in this draft, I really don't think it does. Keldrick Falk at number 4. Oh, that's a shocker for me. Falk is a great run defender, and I'm sure you've heard that over and over again. He is. He's really strong at the point of attack. He's a good athlete. I wouldn't call him an elite athlete. He's not the most explosive guy off the bend. He's not going to, like, TJ Watt you or anything like that. And he's going to get compared to Mikael Williams a whole ton in this draft. And he's very much similar athleticism-wise. Very solid player. I don't know. Number 4, is that a testament to this draft class? Or is it just he's really high on him and the traits and what he can be? And I'm sure he's a great dude on and off the field. The work ethic, from what I've heard, is amazing. Captain, all those sort of things. I totally get that with Keldrick Falk. And he's somebody that I do think is a blue player for this class, and saying, like, I think he's at least going to see the field, in other words, right? And, hey, I guess I'll take that, right? A guy who can see the field is Jeremiah Love. And at number 5, especially in a draft class where it could be tricky, and it's something where how high does a running back go? Jeremiah has a good chance to go in the top 15. Very dynamic player, and for certain teams that I'm looking at right now that need some dynamicism, I think of like the Minnesota Vikings in their running back room, the lack of explosiveness and big plays there would be really nice with a guy like Jeremiah Love. So their team's going to be lining up in the top 15 range to be able to select a guy like Jeremiah Love. On to numbers, he should put him at number 4. Come on, why not put number 4 at number 4? On to Ruben Bain at 6, which I know this might be surprising, but Bain's definitely cooled down a little bit. His play style reminds me of Brandon Grimm. Interesting. I mean, play style-wise, I guess, but like body type and everything, I think he's a little bit different. I think Graham might be a little longer. I mean, Graham, because Graham's like a 6'1" guy. He's got like 34-inch arms, or correct or something. I don't know if Bane's got that sort of length, but definitely his play style, I get it. With like his power profile and the way he plays is a lot of reminiscent of Graham. So I don't mind that at all. And Bane brings the pain. So at number 6, you're probably expecting him to be a little higher. Some teams are going to value the frame a little bit. Of course, I think that will be something that gets talked about more and more as we get into like January and stuff. All right, here's the Heisman frontrunner, Fernando Mendoza, the game sealer, the clutch quarterback. And what I like about Mendoza is we know what we know with Mendoza. He has a sample size going back to Cal and his tape there, which California, my gosh, they've been producing some quarterbacks. That might be quarterback university at this point. JKS in 2028. Oh, baby, that's going to be insane. I love JKS. He's one of the most fun players to watch in college football right now. But Mendoza is also a fun player to watch, and he's so clutch. I get why he's not his number one quarterback. It's when you look at the traits of Mendoza, is he the most athletic guy? No. I think his play style is a little bit of Drake May-esque with more of like a Jared Goff athletic profile is kind of my comp to it. He is definitely a really talented quarterback. He's a very cerebral quarterback. He does have some lapses, though. He'll have some bad interception throws. I think it's more or less like him trusting his receivers than it is like just bad decision making, though. So that's one thing I will say on Mendoza. Very, very good quarterback that I feel has the highest floor in this draft. Jordan Tyson, he's going to be a watch out for these injuries. Of course, that's going to be something. Dealing with a hamstring right now, and he's got a history. I think he tore an ACL in his past couple seasons ago or something like that. So those are all something we have to keep an eye out with Jordan Tyson. Great player though on the field. He just has all 3 levels. He's not bad at any portion of the field, and that's what makes Jordan Tyson a complete X number 1 style of guy. Jermon McCoy here at number 9. I'm glad he's got him so high because he's still a great football player. It's just the ACL thing. And we will have to see how everything checks up with the medicals on him as well. And that's another thing in this draft class is there are a couple guys like Caleb Banks, Jermon McCoy, where it just comes down to the medical scenarios. But McCoy and even Tyson, you could even argue, but McCoy is a great football player on the field. On to Carnell Tate, wide receiver of the Ohio State University. And it's good to see that they're so close with Jordan Tyson because I like Mekhi Lemon a lot. I'm serious. Like I think Mekhi Lemon might be the best wide receiver in this draft, and it's very close though. I think that when you put all 3 of these guys neck and neck, I love Tyson. I still think I'd put Tyson probably at 1, but Mekhi Lemon is right there. He may be 1 for me though when it's all said and done. Carnell Tate, really good wide receiver, probably had the best season out of all these guys, even though they've all had good seasons. On to Spencer Fenu at number 11, who down season for him. And when you look at the Utah offensive line, sometimes it's a lot of lateral stuff. It's not always, you don't see him in those vertical sets that you would love to see with Spencer Fanu. I mean, I know he can do it. That's not the question of his athleticism. I mean, he's got strong hands. That's what I like for Fanu. No, he's not. I don't think he's got the strongest anchor, right? Like when people get into his chest, he can get knocked back or like bent over. But he's very strong with his hands. And that definitely works out for him. And he's going to get stronger. He's a young player. Right, he's a true junior, of course. So he is definitely a really good prospect and everything like that. And when you project a guy like this, I get it. I really do. We got Dante Moore at 12. And Dante Moore coming off a solid week at Iowa. I thought he played a really solid game in general. And that Iowa defense is very good. I don't think they've allowed like 20 points to many teams in general. So for that Ducks offense, they were trying to run the rock anyway. And that's kind of what they were doing. But Dante Moore, really good quarterback that I would love to see come back just for a bigger sample size. I think he can come out, though. It's not like I think he has to come back to school. He's shown enough this season where I'm like, yeah, he's a first-round quarterback to take. And with those projectable traits, he's got a CJ Stroud is kind of my comp for Dante Moore. Very similar arm talent, playmaker, can read the field, all those sort of things. So, yeah. I don't see him as an elite quarterback in the NFL, but I think he's going to be a high-level starter that has some ups and downs, and you're going to have to build a team around him. Peter Woods at 13 has had a down year for sure. Not what he was hoping for, going into the season, but at the end of the day, he's still a really talented player. 13 is fair, especially for defensive tackle, of finding someone as talented as he is. David Bailey, I guess the one thing would be, it's like, why'd you kind of, what's the production? Why has the production kind of gone down for him? David Bailey, production has not gone down for him. He has been unbelievable. He'll be voided, or he'll be kind of characterized, I guess, as the one-trick pony, but he's more than that, I think, in what he brings to the table as a pass rusher is just so dynamic. Yeah, I guess in a way, run defense is gonna be a problem, but I'm taking him here at 14, even if he's just a pass rushing specialist. Will McDonald esque type of edge rusher. I think he's even more talented than that, possibly coming out here. He's also a younger player too, coming out a little like a year. Lenore Sellers at 15. Oh, very interesting conversation. I cannot put Lenore Sellers this high on the big board, but at the same time, he's still got the talent. Like, I'm not denying that. I just think his play this year has really not been there. So to say Lenore Sellers is a top 15 player in this draft class is either saying this draft is that bad, or you have such a high positional value for the quarterback position that you would move him up, which I could get that in retrospect. And hey, he certainly could be a franchise quarterback. He's got the insane tools you look for. It just, I feel like his processing is maybe taking a bit of a step back, especially lately. You go back to that Alabama film and stuff. I just feel like he was holding onto the ball and not seeing the field clearly. And some of it's on the offensive line. It's a big problem there at South Carolina, and the scheme doesn't help him out either. He certainly could hit the NIL and transfer portal and make a ton of cash. He really could. He can make as much as Arch, I feel like, this offseason. Francis Mauigoa at 16. I love Mauigoa. I do think he is the highest floor offensive lineman in this draft. And a lot of people are going to talk about this, putting him inside a guard. I totally get it. He's not the most athletic guy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But I would try him at right tackle first. And if he doesn't work out there, I think he's going to be a great guard. On to Kenyon Sadiq at 17. He's not Brock Bowers, but he's definitely not a slouch by any standpoint. A really good athlete. Consistently beats linebackers. He's too big for DBs to handle, too physical to handle. He's a good blocker as well. He might be one of the best blockers, at least willing blockers in this draft. Caden Proctor, is a little high for me with Proctor. The tools are crazy good. I like it, but I would take Lomu over Proctor 100%. I just think Proctor is very raw. I get why you would take Proctor in the first round, though. The traits are there. He's so talented. He's so athletic for his size. He doesn't have the lateral quickness, the redirecting ability, but man, he's an explosive athlete that can hang in certain schemes, especially that value big offensive line, strong brutes. They're going to move guys in the run game. Like, that's Proctor. If he can improve his leverage and maybe lower his weight a little bit, I would love to stick him at guard. I think he'd be so insane at guard, actually. Oh, he does actually talk about this. Okay, I was always wondering, like, do NFL teams think he could be a guard? I don't know, but I mean, Dane has the inside information, so we'll see. We shall see. Mansour Delane at 19. Yeah, okay, I'm cool with this one. He's not a perfect prospect. He really isn't, and he's been amazing this season. He does have his limitations, going back to the Virginia Tech days. And this is a one-year season type of thing for Mansour Delane. And cornerback's a volatile position. So that's why I'm not like oozing to put Mansour Delane in the top 10 all the time, because I really don't think he's like a guy that I'm cementing my stone saying he's the next Derek Stingley. But he's very talented. I think he's been excellent coverage, like super sticky, right? He makes plays. He's been a magnet around the football field. He's physical too. So I like that with his game. Mekhi Lemon here at number 20. Lemon, I would have him higher. I don't care if you label him as a slot-only guy. We're seeing that in the NFL work with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Emeka Ibuka, Jackson Smith and Jigba. The list goes on, right? And I think Mekhi Lemon is the next in line for that. He's a twitchy athlete. He creates separation consistently. That is a easy one for me that I would put top 15 in this draft. Avion Terrell, I'm fine with this one. Plays with a honey badger aura to him. Okay. I like the little comp there. I could see that. And there's a little bit of honey badger to him, especially from a size and athleticism profile. I could see that. Very good football player. I think Terrell is another one of these guys. Like, if you just want to, if you're picking at like 15 and you don't want to sit here and say, do I want to take a Caden Proctor, go for the upside? I'd rather take Avion Terrell or a Mekhi Lemon at this point. Just with their high floors that they have, like, they're going to see the field, and they're going to see the field early, barring injuries and stuff like that. Boston, he's another guy that I still see it. I really do with Boston, but at the same time, I do think there is a little bit of hesitation because he isn't the most sudden, right? He's not the most twitchy guy. But what he is, he's got some explosiveness for his size. Could he be like a Puka Nacua type? I've heard comps on like Puka Nacua with Denzel Boston. I could see a little bit of that because if you put him in like those crossers, he's super physical. He's got great hands. So he could play a big slot option for a lot of teams. Katie McDonald at 22, he's been a big riser, and he's certainly improved his pass rush this season, which is why I'm sure that people are going to pick him in the first round. And he's a good run defender as well. You definitely think that he is going to be somebody that when you're at the back end of the first round, if you need a guy, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Tyleik Williams, would I take Tyleik Williams over Katie McDonald? Even though Tyleik Williams hasn't had the greatest rookie season, defensive tackle in general is a position that typically takes a season or two to build out your frame and get stronger. I think McDonald could be in a very similar sort of mold where he takes a season or two to really develop and get better and stuff like that. But he shows it this year, and he's been one of the biggest impacts on that defensive line. CJ Allen from Georgia, really like CJ Allen. Yeah, I mean, he's got a little Roquan Smith. He's just a great run defender. He flies around the football field. One of the best. If you're looking for the best tackler in this draft, I think CJ Allen is the guy. I'm surprised, though, he has him over Sonny Styles. I would take Styles personally over Allen, but I do think Allen is like a safer projection, I guess, because some people are going to be like, well, is Sonny Styles another Isaiah Simmons? I don't really get that personally because I think Sonny Styles, like, he is a linebacker, so he's not like a positionless guy. CJ Allen is a linebacker, and I know that. He can come in day one and be an impact for you there, but I also think that Styles can be too. I really like Styles is a great cover guy. If you're looking for more of an all-around guy, I think Styles is your guy. I think Allen, though, what he does as a tackler, as a run defender, is so high-level stuff that reminds me of Roquan Smith for sure. Brandon Cece from South Carolina. Okay, here we go. This is why you look at the board, right? This is why you come to watch Dane Brugler. Woo! Not watched him. Nope, have not. I've not checked him out. So, booming. I'm putting him on the list, man. On the list. Santa Claus came early. Let's go. He's on the list. I'll check that one twice. Let's see what he has to say. One of the biggest stock up prospects this season. Cheesy is a springy, freaky, fast athlete with cover skills to stay attached to wide receivers up and down the field. The South Carolina coaches say it doesn't take long for the North Carolina State transfer to compete for a title of fastest player in the program. Oh boy, oh buddy, South Carolina, let's go! I'm excited. I really am. All right, well there you go. Like I said, that's why we come to the board. On to Sonny Styles. Okay, here's Sonny Styles. So he's close. He is close to CJ Allen, which I can respect that. Styles just 20 years old. He's a dude I've been just enamored by going into last season. I had him mocked in like first rounds last year. So heck yeah, I got him even mocked. I think I'll mock him top 10 even possibly. Really good athlete that can chase up and down the field. That combination with Arvell Reese is unbelievable. TJ Parker. Ooh, I don't like this one. Ooh, sorry. I'm getting a little crazy with my mouse action here. Popping it up. Yeah, that's how unexcited I am, I guess. And look, I don't want to hate on TJ Parker too much. He's still a guy that I think can come in here, be a good power rusher for somebody. Just think he's a little bit more of a one-trick type of rusher, and I want to see more consistency with his hands. I just don't see that much on film when I'm watching the Clemson Tigers. To me, I think Hilt's been better off the edge than TJ Parker by a mile. So that's where I'm at. It is what it is. I don't want to blur on that too much or hate on him because, he's trying to work his best, I'm sure. And he's just more of a guy I would be looking at late day 2, day 3 option at this point. There's just other rushers I would take, like Cassius Howell, for example. I don't care about the tools and stuff. I'd rather get Cassius Howell. You got Vega Ione at 28, really good offensive guard from from Penn State, Iowa. I'm thinking of Kate Pieper over here. Which, speaking of Pieper, I don't know. I mean, Pieper's running it for guard 1. I like Basantes still as guard 1, but Ione's right there. I think Ione's a great player. Maybe a bit better of a run blocker than Basantes as well. So I guess more of a well-rounded player, which makes sense why Dane has him here at 28. We'll see if he has got Chase on here. KJ Concepcion. KC Concepcion. I'm trying to spit it out here. I'm Porky Pigging this. That's all, folks. I'm done. Let's go. But anyway, we got the blooper section going on big time today. I just feel like sometimes, when your mouth is not working, that's like one of the day to day. Case Concepcion, though, is a really good football player. He's got him over Chris Bell. I see it. He's been so good. Mario Craver gets a lot of attention at Texas A&M, which does help out a lot. I think Chris Bell is like clearly the guy there at Louisville, and teams know that, and they'll guard around him, and Louisville isn't creative enough always to get him the ball consistently enough. But Concepcion is so good. I want to take that anything away from him. Very athletic guy. He's been more of a deep threat too, even though Marcel Reed has missed him. I still love Marcel. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks in college. I still think he can. I'm holding out hope he can be a quarterback next year. Watch out for. Amari Washington has coming off a rough week at Iowa. Needs to show more strength, more consistency for a guy his size. That's the big thing. Like, he needs to get better as a pass rusher too. I see the flashes with Amari Washington. I'm a Ducks fan. I see it. I like Bear Alexander a lot. It's a very interesting defensive line. It has so much talent. It just doesn't always live up to that, in my opinion. But Washington, if you can really hone those tools, and you see that, and you say, okay, we can develop some hand technique. We can get him better with his strength profile. Still a very young player at that. Could come back next year and bonify himself as a top 15 pick, top 10 pick possibly. The traits are there for that. He just is more of a flash pan frying, need more talent or more consistency to his game. Chris Bell, here we go, 31. The explosive, 4.4 speed, one of the best athletes pound for pound in the draft, 227 pounds, rocked up athlete, very difficult after the catch merchant guy where you're looking at him and saying, is he A.J. Brown? Because he looks like A.J. Brown. Maybe doesn't have that level of physicality at the catch point, but I wouldn't call him Treylon Burks either. So, yeah, definitely like Bell a lot. See him as a first-round guy at this point. Zion Young, I put him in, I think I put him in a first-round mock already this draft. I've at least had him at top of round 2. He's a relatively solid athlete for his size especially. He's a longer, bigger guy. He's got some explosiveness that you wouldn't expect for a guy his size to have. The big trait with him that I think is going to get him at the Senior Bowl is he's got that edge, right? And when he's talking about edge, he has that ability where you're going to see him at the Senior Bowl and you're going to be like, oh, snap. That guy, I remember that guy because he was like yelling and doing crazy stunts and things like that, right? He was barreling over dudes and hyping up the team and stuff like that. That is what he brings. He's a big ball of energy. And that's good and all. He's going to have to continue to be more consistent with his technique and his hand usage to be more consistent as a pass rusher. But for right now, I understand it. What is that? Garrigus personality? I think my dad uses that word. Garrigus, that's a fun word. Jeremy Bernard at 33, good wide receiver. And yeah, he's just universally solid. And something where this type of wide receiver wins in the NFL consistently. He's not a flashy athlete, but he knows how to get open, and he's great after the catch. I take these guys, no problem. Colton Hood, cornerback, Tennessee. Okay, this is fair for him. I think he's a very well-rounded cornerback. I kind of like him in his own scheme a lot, and somebody that has some good instincts and stuff like that. Solid arm length as well. He has 8 passes defended this season, and yeah, no, I think he's a good cornerback, and I'm getting higher on him as the more I watch him. He still needs to work on the penalties a little bit. That's why maybe not a man cover guy full on for me at the moment. He plays a good amount of man, though, at Tennessee. Kind of like him in his zone. Cassius Hal here, 35. I would have Cassius higher than this because even though he has the lack of length, 31, I'm sure. So Brugler has him listed lower than 31. Wow, yeah, it is what I've heard. He's 30 inches range. So there is that, but he is just so good to the edge, and he has got a high motor. He plays better in the run defense than you would think. Maybe he's a little bit Mike Green-esque because Mike Green in his run game was okay at Marshall. Even though at Texas A&M, you feel have a better high-level competition he's holed up against. So there's that. I still think Hal in this draft class, I would take him top 25. Christian Miller, defensive tackle, Georgia. His tape doesn't jump off as a pass rusher, but he's a dominant run defender. I agree with that. I really do. I think he's going to be at least a very high-level rotational player. This is somebody where, like, the Baltimore Ravens wouldn't shock me if they selected him in the end of the first round because they need interior depth on their defensive line. Like, they need it really, really bad. And he's somebody that I think could be an immediate impact for you right away. So I'm cool with that one. As Big Citrus, I still like Big Citrus better than Christian Miller personally. He doesn't quite have this, like, overall, like, size girth maybe that, like, or I mean, like, upper size. I think Dominic Orange is like lower. I don't know if he's 6'4". Personally, I see him as more like 6'2". I don't know. We'll see. I think Christian Miller is a bigger guy than that, but I do think Orange is like got that broader frame that you look for. Like he's got that broad ability where he's just tanked up, and he's got decent length. I think for his size, he just doesn't. He's so strong at the point of a gap. If you're looking for a two gapper, especially if you're in like if you need that 4-3-1 tech, he's the guy. He's the guy. And he can has some quickness where he's a decent pass rusher as well. Don't expect that. Yeah, okay, here we go. This is what I'm trying to say. I'm not very good. This is why Dane's better. He can pronunciate things. He has that squatty, dense, 330-pound frame, the cyclone nose tackle, absorbs contact and holds his ground. Explosive knockback power. Boom! There you go, Dane. I love it. Caleb Tiernan, offensive tackle from Northwestern. He's really smart. He's going to have 32.5-inch arms, so there you go. That's something that is going to be a very serious conversation to have, because is he a guy that can move into guard? Because if he's super high levered up, right, at 6'7", his knee bend in general is not great. It's the one thing I will say. So he's probably more of just a tackle-only prospect. So he's going to be very scheme-specific for certain teams are not going to have him very high on the big board. He's a solid athlete, though. He's explosive. Like, he can get to the second level pretty well. He does have a lot of, like nuance with his hands. That's the one thing I do like about Tiernan. Jadarian Price, 39. He fits. The price is right. Let's go. I love Jadarian Price. He's great. He's got to get better in pass pro, though. That's the big thing for me with Jadarian Price. Like, Jeremiah Love, I feel like can come in and be a good, solid pass protector for you. But with Jadarian Price, I worry a little bit about that with his third down ability. Really good running back, though. I think Emmett Johnson, Jonah Coleman, right there with him. I still like Coleman at this point as more of a well-rounded guy, but Price has had the better season, so I get that. He's an explosive athlete that just hits that hole, and he is gone, man. He's got that edge to him right here when it comes down to it with, run patience, absolutely. Quincy Rhodes Jr., he's going to be a guy where you shoot for the moon. He's got the traits. He's another one of these Arkansas big guys like Landon Jackson. He's not as stiff of an athlete as Landon Jackson is, so I think he can be a true edge rusher and stuff. But there'll be some teams that say he's more of a 3-4 defensive end still. If he could put on some more mass into that frame, I don't know. I'm not quite there with Quincy Rhodes and what I've seen from the film just yet, but he's definitely a talented guy. He's a good athlete, like an explosive enough athlete there for his size to play full-time edge and be a pass rusher for them or for any team that drafts him. Lomu at 41. Okay, I can't do this one. I am way higher on Lomu. I think Lomu is underrated at this point. Yes, it's not perfect, and a lot of scouts are probably going to point to the Texas A&M and Romello Height getting the best of him. Sometimes you can't overanalyze one film, right? If you do something like that, then you find yourself missing up on really good tackles, because you can go through, there have been multiple tackles that have had struggled maybe versus one pass rush throughout their career, but their other sample size is really, really well. And most recently, Will Campbell, right? I mean, you can go back to, was it Dallas Turner where he struggled? I mean, he's gone up against a lot of really good pass rushers, so you can name down the line. But, like, Will Campbell, really, really good. Now, Will Campbell, totally different player than Caleb Lomu. Lomu, really, really good athlete. I just see him as left tackle. I think he's going to come in here, and if you're selecting him at 41, I think you got to steal the draft. I'll just say that right now. Jay Golday, linebacker. He's not a perfect prospect. I don't want to say that. He's not a perfect prospect, but I really like him. Jay Golday, linebacker from Cincinnati, great player. He is, he's one of those guys with great size profile, 6'4", 237 pounds. And former defensive end, really? I didn't know that. Interesting. I've been watching a lot of the Bearcats this season because I'm a big Brandon Sorsby fan. Number 11 is a guy that continues to flash off of the field. He plays like a overhang over the slot position linebacker a lot of times, but he just does it at such a high level. And he also plays inside linebacker. Like, I'm not worried that he's going to be like this weird, guy. Like, no, he's a linebacker for sure. Mateo Uyunglele at 43. As I mentioned before, I'm a Ducks fan. I like Mateo. I think he's a crafty guy. He's not the most explosive or anything like that. So some teams are going to be like, well, what are you getting here? But I just think he's going to be a good player. I really do. He's another one of those guys where you might not be saying, oh, high five, we just got the next Will Anderson or anything like that. But I think you're going to get a really good pass rusher that is just a dude on and off the field you like. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, this is a dude I'm glad Dane has up here at 44. A really good football player. So talented. He's got great instincts, man. He really does. long, rangy athlete, man up against pass catchers. Like, yeah, you can see him lining up down in the slot in the box, can take on tight ends. He's got the size, the physicality to do that. So if you're looking for that guy, he's not a box only guy, right? He can roam too. He can play a little free safety in the back end, but I love him to be able to take away tight ends. Like, if you have trouble covering tight ends, this can be your tight end eraser type of guy. Hey, I think he could be like a Nicky Manwari guy. And Nicky Manwari coming off a pretty solid week this past one. I mean, he got beat at times, but and Manwari's had his up and downs this season, but Manwari's shown some real good flashes. R. Mason Thomas, Oklahoma, edge rusher here. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to come down to the size profile. What does he look like from a length perspective? He's going to come into that conversation of Cassius Howell. I don't think his film is as good as Cassius Howell, but he's a really good football player. Another dude that wins to the edge consistently, and I fully expect him to be an impactful pass rusher for whoever gets him. And yeah, he's stronger, a little stronger than you would think, right? Especially for a guy his size. Caleb Banks, he would be higher, I'm sure, if it weren't for the medicals. Let's see what happens with the feet injuries. Yeah, 35-inch arms, twitchy. I mean, this dude is a top 10 player if he was healthy. It sucks. Actually, maybe for the Jets, maybe with that other first rounder, go get Caleb Banks, or the second rounder, let's go. I'm sorry, I'm pulling a little Jets bias. I love all 32 teams, but Caleb Banks, oh, he's such a good football player. Emmanuel Pregnon's been excellent. Even going back to the USC tape, he was really good there. He's got a big sample size. Teams are going to love that. He's tried, true, and tested against some top talent now. Up in the Big Ten and their interior defense lineman just this past week. Aaron Graves and that defensive line, he was excellent. So Pregnon, line him up, day one starter for you. Boom. Darrell Jackson Jr. Ooh, interesting. He's your definition. Like, what I could see from this guy is like Deion Walker. So I get the projection here. His film doesn't back it up. It really does not this season. Last year, his film was pretty solid. Like, you saw it, and maybe if you would take another step this year. But he's still a really talented guy, and I get it. He's just going to be more of a rotational guy early on in his career, I feel like, as he continues to develop his hands. He just doesn't have especially for a guy with 35-inch arms with 11-inch hands, you need to see more consistency there as a pass rusher, using more moves and stuff. There's just not a bunch there. A lot of times he's just kind of barreling down with his arm length, and it can work, and there's no doubt about it. He's super, lengthy. He's got that 35-inch arm barrel to him, 11-inch hands, of course. But I do think he is a guy I'm okay with. I'm cool with this in a way. I don't necessarily see the film with it, but at the same time, Deion Walker, the flashes, what I've seen from Deion Walker so far, it shows these big men with the size. It works in the NFL. It does, especially if you have the coaches to develop a guy like that. Dylan Thieneman at 49. I'm glad he made the top 50. Oh, Kamari Ramsey, he did. Carter Smith, let's go, Hoosier. Let's go. I love that. Sorry, we'll get back to it in a minute. Dylan Thieneman at safety here, the Duck. I'm glad. I like him a lot. He's a really instinctual guy out there. He's rangy as well. Purdue Boilermakers, all our best players end up transferring, so it is what it is. He's a dude that I could see playing a multitude of roles as either a free safety. You can put him up. So teams that love to move around their safeties, I think Thieneman's your guy. Really like him a lot. Carter Smith, though, we got to talk about this. As a Hoosier fan, as a Hoosier alumni, I do like Carter Smith a lot. I think Smith is a guy that, even though in IU's offense, it's not the most projectable offense, let me be real. You don't see him doing like a whole ton of true pass sets. It's like Utah, though. I mean, Utah doesn't do a whole ton of true pass sets. It's more a lot of linear, quick sets, things like that in Indiana's offense, and it's fine, okay? But I do like him a lot. I think he's been really, really good. I think he's a really good run blocker, and I think he's got the tools to be a good pass protector. Now, I really would wonder about his length. That would be the big thing here. Let's see, does he talk about him guard? Okay, he does. Though his size dimensions are probably better suited for a guard in the NFL, I agree with that. His anchor is really good, though. I agree 100%. Great analysis here. Angry run blocker. Yeah, I see that on film. Really good run blocker and doesn't have the length probably to play tackle. But for a team, if you need a guard, maybe the Jets, again, and pull this up. Put him over at left guard for John Simpson, be your future left guard. Yes, sir. Get Mendoza, Carter Smith. Come on. Anyway, that is it here. Okay, omissions. Guys that I would love to see on here. Kamari Ramsey would be one of them. And it's just off the top of my head, so I'm probably going to miss a couple of guys. Chase Basanta is a guy that I talk about. Those are some offensive linemen or offensive lineman Chase Basantes, Cade Peeper, Parker Brailsford, 100%. 100%. I put Parker Brailsford in the top 50. Get the size, maybe. Oops, sorry. I'm going a little fast for you. Don't look for a second. Don't close your eyes. There we go. We're after the top here. Parker Brailsford, absolutely. I love him. Big fan. Anybody else on the offense line? Pani Lalu, yeah. I mean, he could be a guy considered top 50. I'm okay. Like, he to me is more of like a probably round 3 guy at the moment. Really good player, though. Let's go on to wide receivers. Any omissions here? No Elijah Serrata or Omar Cooper. Very interesting. Skylar Bell's a dude I like a lot. He's a sleeper, I think. Jacoby Lane, if he was more athletic, then he'd be on the top 50, I'm sure. Got quarterbacks. Brennan Sorsby didn't make the list. Darian Minsa. Those guys, I get. Why Sorsby coming off his worst game to win the season. Running back wise, I'm okay with it. I don't think there's any like crazy running backs except for Air Love. So I get why you'd have Jadarian Price as number 2. Defensive line, let's see. We went over a lot of defensive tackles. I do like Mateen Ogorogba from Wake Forest a lot. I think he's a guy to watch out for. Wake Forest, man, they producing some guys. They do. Colby Turner, you got your next one in line. Anyway, besides that, am I missing anybody on the defensive line that I would say? I have to think about that one. Linebacker-wise, I think he covered it pretty much. Oh, no, Jacob Rodriguez. I mean, the traits, I get it. I mean, but he's unbelievable. Cornerback-wise, oh, Keith Abney was not here. Ooh, that's an interesting one, too. I think Chandler Rivers are really good, but D'Angelo Pons, just the size. But I think Pons is going to be a great player, whoever drafts him. Another Hoosier guy. I got a shout of Hoosiers. Safeties, I already mentioned Kamari Ramsey. I'm shocked. Jelani McDonald's been playing really good this season. Anybody else at safety? Again, it's a pretty good safety class. So AJ Halsey, Halsey's more of a probably round 3, round 4 guy, but Halsey's a good football player. So that's it. Let me know who are some guys that Dane missed out on that should be on this list. I really enjoy it though. Dane knows his stuff. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of it still. You know, like TJ Parker, I think's way too high. I would not have him in the top 50. Romello Height was not in here too, which he is more of a situational pass rusher. I guess like that's fine, right? He could be like a Bryce Huff type of player. Somebody can get him on like round 3, round 4, even though Huff was UDFA, I believe, or something like that. So anyway, I hope you guys have a really good day. Let me know what you think, agree or disagree on Dane's big board. I will talk to you later.